आज का हमारा टॉपिक है वाइड स्पेक्ट्रम। इन प्रीवियस वीडियो we saw that about narrow spectrum, natural penicillin, and very narrow spectrums. So before and we discussed this about in very narrow spectrum anti-staphylococcal drug. So what the function of anti-staphylococcal drug? They protects the what they will do? They protect the beta-lactam ring by increasing the folding of what R group, and they will protect. Now that so why we will need the protection, because the staphylococcus is releasing the penicillinase or the beta lactamase enzyme, which cuts the beta lactam ring, and they are not able to show its function. But after better now. So we are successful and we discovered these things. But now the staphylococcal bacteria has become smarter. So now what they will do? They so they what they will do? They change the penicillin binding protein structure. What they will do? They change the penicillin binding structure. Supposing it is like a U shape, the drug came and bind here, but now what they will do, they changes their structures and become a V. Just I'm giving an example, it's not like a U or V, I'm giving an example. They changes their penicillin binding protein structure. So if the drug came and it's not able to fit in the structure, so they are not able to show its function. Now the doctors are again become a sad, because they are not able to kill the staphylococcal bacteria because they changes the structure. But the doctors are again smart. They came up with the vancomycin. What the vancomycin do? The vancomycin the inhibits the cell wall synthesis before the penicillin binding protein were made. What the vancomycin will do? The vancomycin inhibit the steps and disrupt the cell wall synthesis and a step before the penicillin binding protein were made. We we discussed the vancomycin functions and how it will work in depth, but just now I'm giving a we discussed in previous video about the anti-staphylococcal bacteria. So I just want to know about this. Okay, so the anti-staphylococcal drugs will not work on the it will not work on the methicillin resistant staphylococcal. This drug will not going to work on the methicillin resistant. Okay, let me go. The antistaphylococcal drug will used on the organism which produces the penicillinase. The okay, only this antistaphylococcal will drug will going to use on what? The organism which produces the penicillinase. But this drug will not going to work on those staphylococcus which were penicillin resistant. Okay, so means methicillin resistant or anything like. So if you know that if you are taking any drugs for a long time period, 10 years, 20 years, so you are resistant to that drug. So this drug will not going to work on that basically. So okay. So the antistaphylococcal will used only on the organism which produces the penicillinase or beta lactamase, but this drug will not going to work on those who are resistant with the penicillinase. Now the staphylococcus bacteria becomes smart and they changes the structure of penicillin binding. Okay, is what we discuss now. Now the staphylococcal bacteria becomes smart and they change the structure of penicillin binding protein. Now none of the drug can came inside. Okay, they came into cytoplasmic membrane, but not going to be show its function. Why? Because they are unable to bind with it. See, if it is like that, if they are bind to which other. If I change the structure like this, if it is not able to bind it, okay, so it will not will bind. It will not like stretch like this. Okay, so before now it will like this. So it will not stretch. It will not show its function. Okay, now, none of the drug can come and act on the penicillin binding protein. Every doctors try to add clavulanic acid. We will discuss what is the clavulanic acid. What is the basically the clavulanic acid? What they will do? It kills the penicillinase or beta lactamase. Okay. Okay, we came up with the vancomycin. So now the doctor will become smart and they know that how to work on this. Now they introduce the drug. The name is vancomycin. What the vancomycin do? The vancomycin inhibit the step and disrupt the cell wall synthesis a step before the penicillin binding protein were made. यानी penicillin binding protein के बनने से पहले ही हमने इस सेल वॉल को क्या कर दिया, डिस्टर्ब कर दिया. ठीक है. Now the doctors wants also that the they wants also that this penicillin will also be work on the gram negative. Before the penicillin is only limited to what, a gram positive, but the doctor wants no, he also wants to this penicillin will work on the gram negative. So what we will do, gram positive to gram negative, we increase the spectrum. What we will do, we increase the spectrum. If we are going to increase the spectrum, okay, so what we will call it wide spectrum. So before the spectrum is like this, but the gram-negative bacteria we add it, so the spectrum will become like this. So what we call the wide spectrum. So what is the speciality of the wide spectrum? The wide spectrum can also kills the gram-positive bacteria also and gram-negative bacteria also. Okay, there are two types of wide spectrum. In wide spectrum, there are two types: smart penicillin and super smart penicillin. Okay, so we are going to be discuss with the smart penicillin. Okay, smart penicillin are those penicillin which will not attack only on gram positive, but it also attacks on the gram negative bacteria. Okay, so what we will do in smart penicillin, see, the organism in narrow spectrum is the organism is moderately bulky. In very narrow spectrum, the organism it's like too much of the bulky. So what we will do in gram negative bacteria, what we have, the porins we have, and the porins are little bit smaller in diameter. So if it is a smaller in diameter and they have the outer membrane, so that any drug which have to be passed into the into the outer membrane of the cytoplasm to bind and show its function. So the proteins are smaller in diameters. Okay, so proteins are smaller in diameter. So the drug which we are going to be used. So of course it is a smaller so that it can pass easily. So what will we going to do? Uh, we will reduces the size of that drug. So how we can reduce is we cut it at the R group. We reduces the R group chain. What we will do, we decreases the side R group chain. Then supposing it is a made up of the 10 molecules, what we will do, we come up with the 4 molecules so that the molecule becomes smaller so that they can go and show its function. Okay, so our example is the two drug, ampicillin and amoxicillin. Most of the doctors are going to nowadays to use these drugs. And among them, I like it too much is amoxicillin. It's my favorite one. It will cures the patient too fast. So it is a good antibiotic. Amoxicillin, ampicillin. Okay, I like it. And amoxicillin, I don't know, but I like it. Ampicillin and amoxicillin helps to clear the enterococci. Enterococci, which is what? Gram-negative bacteria. Okay, ampicillin is what? A gram-negative bacteria. Sorry, enterococci is a what? A gram-negative bacteria. And for example, this both of the antibiotic is going to be used in enterococcal urinary tract infection. Ampicillin and amoxicillin helps to clear the enterococci. Enterococci is what? A gram-negative bacteria. Example, it helps to clear the enterococcal urinary tract infection. Why the narrow spectrum is failed to work on enterococci? Why? There's the only one reason because of their narrow spectrum have the bulky molecules. Okay, so they are not able to pass with the porins, but uh, and enterococci have very smaller diameter of the porin. See, if the diameter is like this, if the diameter so that they can pass it easily. Okay, but if the diameter is become smaller so that what we can't pass it, only the one finger is minus going. So it's the same is like that. See the same. See before the diameter is like this, so my two finger is going. It's a what a narrow spectrum, but the diameter has become smaller, so only the one finger is can pass. So because of the 4 inch diameter, the narrow spectrum has failed to work on that because of its bulky molecule structure. Now what we will do? We reduces that as R side group change, so that molecule become what the smaller in molecule, so that they can easily pass. Okay, uh, on which bacteria, on gram negative bacteria this ampicillin amoxicillin going to work is Haemophilus influenza, E. coli, Listeria monocytogenesis. What the Listeria monocytogenesis, proteases, Salmonella. See, Listeria monocytogenesis is the only one have the outer membrane is a gram-positive bacteria, and and it have the outer membrane is the exception. The Listeria monocytogenesis is they have the outer membrane, and it is a gram-positive bacteria, and they have the smaller diameter of the 4 inch. So they came into the smart penicillin. Okay, which bacteria it will work? Haemophilus influenza, E. coli, Listeria monocytogenesis, proteases, and Salmonella. All, all are gram-negative bacteria except Listeria monocytogenesis. Okay, we will discuss about the endotoxins. Okay, so who have the endotoxins? Gram-positive have or gram-negative bacteria have the endotoxins? Answer it. Pause the video and answer it. The gram-negative bacteria have the endotoxins because they have the outer membrane. Outer membrane is made up of lipids and lipid. Outer membrane, on outer membrane there is a lipopolysaccharides. What we have the lipopolysaccharides on the outer membrane, and they releases the endotoxins. What they will release the toxins. Okay. So in gram negative, I tell you that only the one exception, the outer membrane have gram positive bacteria is Listeria monocytogenesis. The Listeria monocytogenesis, what they have the outer membrane, or if they have outer membrane, the lipopolysaccharides is also present, but it's not present like a gram negative, means 100, 200. I'm just giving an example. In gram positive, they will might be present like 60, 70, not not in bulk quality, but yes, it's there present, and they releases the endotoxins. Okay, if the side chain is small, then who will protect it from? Now again, important question. If the see uh, antistaphylococcus bacteria is going to be releases what? They will going to be releases the penicillinase or beta lactamase. If they have the small R chain, then who will protect the penicillinase or beta lactamase? Who will protect? Clavulanic acids um, is the one acid, is the acid we introduce with the ampicillin or amoxicillin, which we can kills the penicillinase or beta lactamase. It's like a bodyguard. See, I am the ampicillin. I am the ampicillin. This is my bodyguard. So this is the clavulanic acid comes with me, and it kills the penicillinase or beta lactamase and protect the penicillinase. So we are going to be introduced with him what? The penicillinase or beta lactamase to kill the penicillinase or beta lactamase, the clavulanic acid. Clavulanic acid will act as like what? A bodyguard which protects the penicillin, because the R group chain is very very small, so that we have how we can protect it. Then we have to add some things which kills the penicillinase, because the drugs are in oral form, so anyhow we have to protect it. So how we can protect it? Like in this manner we can protect it. Okay, then not only the clavulanic acids, also there is a sulbactam and tazobactams are being added to protect the drugs. See, supposing the amoxicillin plus clavulanic acids in the market, the brand name is agmuntin. Agmuntin, and market brand name is what? It's coming like ampicillin plus clavulanic. Whenever you will go and visit the doctor when he will be prescribes and gives the medicine. Read the beside the contact amoxicillin with clavulanic acid. Why they will put the clavulanic acid? Because to protect the drug. How he can? Because to protect the penicillin molecule, or how he can protect the penicillin molecule by the clavulanic acid. If he had the clavulanic acid, then sorry, he can uh, he can kill the beta lactamase and penicillin, and the main molecule has been protected, the amoxicillin. Okay. So the brand name is what? Augmentin. Then whenever the ampicillin plus salbactam combination is coming, its name is Unison's brand. Is the brand is name is Unison brand name. You can nowadays so many brand names is coming. Just I'm just writing an example here. So let's go it. Read it once, and if I missed any points, so we can cover it. The smart penicillins are those penicillins which will not attack only on gram positive, but it will also attack on the gram negative bacteria. Okay, but let me put the right color. The gram negative molecule. Here, what we will do, we modify the penicillins and trim the penicillin because they are bulky molecules. What we will do, we trim the molecule, we cut down the molecules from 10 to we go for the 4 molecules. This is just an example. Okay, we trimmed the penicillin so that it can easily cross the porins. If it is a bulky, it can't cross the porins. Okay, if it is a bulky in size, they can't cross the porins. See, if it is the diameter is like this, the two finger is going on. If the diameter is reduced, not a one finger is going on mine properly. Okay, so is that the example of the smart penicillin, the ampicillin and amoxicillin. Okay, ampicillin and amoxicillin helps to clear the enterococci. Enterococci is what? An a gram negative enterococcal urinary tract infection. Example. Why the narrow spectrum is failed? Because of the porin size, on which organism of gram negative it will going to work. Haemophilus influenza, E. coli, Listeria monocytogenesis, proteases, and Salmonella. Except the Listeria monocytogenesis, all are gram negative. Only Listeria monocytogenesis is the gram positive. Who have the endotoxins? Gram negative bacteria have endotoxins. Okay, and who is going to be Listeria monocytogenesis is the only bacteria have the outer membrane. Lipopolysaccharides are there, and they are going to be releases endotoxins. Not like the gram-negative bacteria, but yes, it can releases the endotoxins, and outer membrane is the uh, present in the gram-negative bacteria. Sorry, gram-positive bacteria. Gram-positive bacteria. Okay. The lipopolysaccharides endotoxins were present only on gram-negative, but liposaccharides were present on the outer membrane, and only on gram-negative bacteria can produces endotoxinemia. Okay, only the Listeria monocytogenesis is the bacteria have the little bit lipopolysaccharides, as are very small molecule have as very small molecule have very small side chain. Yes, we discussed it. So they are unable to protect the beta lactam ring. They are failed to because the side chain are very small. Okay, so the beta lactam or penicillinase can easily attack. Okay, so far to protect the penicillin from penicillinase or beta lactamase, we add the another drug. The name is clavulanic acid. A clavulanic acid. The clavulanic acid. See, we didn't discuss that this mechanism. I was think this is the drug. Okay, and this is the penicillinase. So what they will do, they will go and bind with this, and they protect the penicillin. So they will go and bind the penicillinase and protect the amoxicillin or ampicillin. It will going to it basically binds with penicillinase. That's it. Nothing. It's more important. Just you have to remember that the uh, salbactam, tazobactam, clavinic acid. We have why we add to protect the drug ampicillin or amoxicillin. Why we need to protect? Because the side chain is very small. If the side chain is very small, they are unable to protect the beta lactam ring, so that the penicillinase or beta lactamase come and easily attack on them. So for the protection, we are adding these drugs. Okay, that's and this way it protects the amoxicillin and ampicillin and clavinic acids, salbactam and tazobactam. Or we also called it what we called what we called it. It we also called it beta anti-beta lactamase drug. Why we called anti-beta lactamase drug? Because it will going to be bind and work on them. This drug is also known as anti-beta lactam drug. So amoxicillin always comes with the clavonic acids, and the brand name is agmuntin, and ampicillin plus salbactam, the ampicillin always comes with the sulbactam. Its name is uh, Unisense. Brand name is the brand name is what Unisense. Now what happens? Why we need the super smart penicillin required? Why? Because the super smart penicillin have a very small diameter. See, there is a one problem. Whenever there is a surgeon opens the wound, means in surgery, whenever you see the green pus was usually produced by the pseudomonas aeruginosa. The pseudomonas aeruginosa have very small diameter of the porins, so that even the from 10 to became 4, he can pass the two molecule structure itself into that porins. Means suppose that is a side chain of the mom, the total is the penicillin molecules in narrow spectrum is about 10. Now they would in very narrow spectrum it becomes a 15, but in smart penicillin it becomes goes to 4. And in very smart penicillin the molecule should be if a two molecule, then it's only able to cross the outer membrane. If it is not able to cross the outer membrane, the some practicals believes that they even don't have the porins or on outer membrane. They don't have the porins, or some believes that they have the very small in diameters. The porins are present. So basically what we will do here, why we need the super model penicillin, why we need the sorry, very smart penicillin or super penicillin. Why? Because of the only one reason, that the sonomod, whenever the doctors open for this surgery, whenever the doctor will go for the surgery and they opens the wound and they see the green pus, and the green pus was been produced by what? The Pseudomonas aeruginosa. What was been produced by Pseudomonas aeruginosa. And this smart penicillin is failed on the Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Why it's failed? Because of the against the porins diameter. In Pseudomonas aeruginosa, they have very small diameter. Supposing in natural penicillins, the diameter of to work is a narrow spectrum is about moderately bulky is about 10. In very narrow spectrum, the molecule size is about 15. Okay. And in smart penicillin, the sizes goes from 4. And in very smart penicillins or the super penicillin, the diameter is goes to the two molecules. So if only the two molecules can pass from that porins diameter. Okay, so they have the very small in diameter, so they are can't able, they are failed. The smart penicillin is failed to work on the super smart penicillin. Okay, because of the porins diameter. Okay, it will going to work on many gram-negative bacteria, including the Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Okay, they are also known as anti-pseudomonal penicillin because why we called it anti-pseudomonal penicillin? Because the diameter is too small, so they are only being going to be designed for what? The pseudomonas. Okay, so we are also called as anti-pseudomonal penicillin. Here we have the very small R chain because we came from 10 to 4 molecules, and from 4 to we go to 2 molecules because we are cutting down the R side chain. We see if the molecule becomes small, what we will do, we are cutting out the side R chain. What we will do, we are cutting out the side R chain. So here the molecules is again become too small. So if it has become too small, so they requires what? They require the bodyguards like tazobactam, salbactam, clavulanic acids. Okay, so which medicine is the most potent for pseudomonal? Uh, pseudomonal aeruginosa is piperacillin, ticaracillin, carbamazepine, azoxystrobin, and mesoxyline. Okay, piperacillin, ticaracillin, carbamazepine, and azoxystrobin, mesoxyline. Among them, the most potent the medicine is piperacillin. Remember, P from potent and P for piperacillin. Okay, let me change the color for you guys. Piperacillin is the most potent drug on the Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Okay, and the combination whenever the piperacillin combines with the tazobactam, the name is azoxystrobin, the brand name of the drug, and the tetracycline combines with clavonic acid, its name is timantin. Timantin, yeah. Tetracycline, whenever it combines with clavonic acid, its name is timantin, brand name, or piperacillin, whenever it combines with tazobactam, its name is xylocin. Okay, a brand name. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much.